I'm a professional Madden player. As you guys see in the background right there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers flag. I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers club champion for Madden 20. And then I won my first round in the club championship, beating the Falcons. Boogs represented him, and I ended up getting popped the round of 16. I made okay runs in the other tournaments, but that was really the big thing. After that, I started streaming. I'm now a Twitch partner, which I'm super, super thankful for. I also do a little bit of YouTube. And on top of that, in my personal life, I go to Western Michigan University, live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I work a part-time job as well. So yeah, I'm really thankful for being on the show.
Yeah, man, it sounds super busy. I was definitely quiet. Okay, let's see. Up a little bit. Should open it up. But so with all that going on, how do you find time to like grind this Madden like the way you do?
So I was really fortunate, like for example, like back in clubs, right? I was going to school, like I said, going to school full time and everything, and I only got a few hours on the game a day. So one thing I had around me was I had a good group of players around me, like J Wall, D Croft, Free the Penguins, some other really good players. They helped me a decent amount in terms of like labbing things I just didn't have the time for. And on top of that, the time I spent on the game, I used it really. I spent my time really well in the game. I feel like some people like, and this goes for like a lot of things, where like they'll spend a lot of time like on the game, for example, and they won't understand why they're not getting better, but they're not doing like the right things on the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
They're just kind of they're not doing things to make them better. Whereas I spent about 2 hours every night on the game doing things I felt like were making me better. I'm preparing, just really trying to make sure I use my time effectively instead of just wasting it.
yeah. I got you, man. It's just crazy. I mean, college, job, Madden. That's a lot.
No, it's busy. It's busy. It's fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
So do you get time to sleep?
I've been sleeping a little bit more recently, because I didn't have to go to in-person classes, obviously,
Yeah.
with the whole pandemic and everything. So, like the past like 4 or 5 months, I've been sleeping more, but like it's usually about 6 hours a night is usually what I'm sleeping.
You're getting enough. You're enough. You're young.
Yeah, no, stop. Yeah, so I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I don't mind it.
So what goes into you preparing for the MCS, like a tournament? Like when you get into each one of these tournaments, do they differ for you? Are you prepared?
So the biggest things, like for example, like the Madden Classic, I flew down to Dallas for that, right, back in August. And so there, you don't know who you're gonna play. You go there, you could literally play any of the 500 other people who are there, right? So my biggest things preparing for that was I wanted to make sure if I played the meta, whatever the meta was back then, I was obviously running the ball,
Run the
and
ball
whatever
and that good old lovely armbar.
yes. So I made sure going into it. Now it didn't end up mattering, but I made sure going into it that I told myself, Civil, I have a game plan for what I'm going to do when I see this, when I see that. All the meta stuff. I just had stuff prepared for what I was going to do against it.
Yeah.
And if I saw something, a little weird, then that's eventually actually how I ended up losing. I saw something I wasn't prepared for, but it was really making sure I was prepared for like the stuff that I knew I was going to see. But like for clubs, for example, I knew who I was playing. I knew their schemes. So I took all of my time and energy and put it towards preparing for those schemes instead of, just like I made it very specific on what I was preparing for. Instead of going more general with just like the meta, I prepared for strictly this person's scheme, then that person's scheme, instead of very very detailed.
Yeah, I mean that's sounds crazy. I mean, so how many hours do you put? I'm not like when it's time for one of these tournaments. Do your hours of preparation go up, or do you still stay
Yeah,
within your time? You typically
they,
do.
they go up. Yeah, they go up. So like before clubs, I was probably putting in. The final, like it's really about 2 weeks before the tournament is when like you really start to like really lock into it, because that's like there should be no more patches after within 2 weeks there shouldn't be. Sometimes there are, but and that's so
Why I laughed.
yeah, no, trust me, it's not great, but that's kind of what your mindset is. So those 2 weeks you put more time in. I definitely put a lot more time in because you're getting, not only are you like practicing against certain things, that you're getting like real live reps. Like competitive players will, I guess, like scrimmage against each other, looking for just good rep games, and then you're also labbing against certain stuff, trying to find glitches, trying to find a counter to what you think Joe Bob might be doing to you, whatever.
So now with you going into it and come actually having a really, you had, I would say, a pretty good season this year. What's your take for next season? I mean, are you looking to do things differently? Since I know you're with the crew, you got I think it's the TNC crew. I think that's what. So you got that whole crew now, and you guys are getting pretty beefy over there. I think you're up to like 16 or so players.
We have 16 now.
So
A little bit bigger of a crew, which I don't really mind. In terms of next year, I mean, I would like to obviously build upon what I've done this year and really, I would love to take the next step and make a deeper run into a tournament. That's really obviously the goal. But on top of that, I'm also really trying to focus on the content side of things. I'm really making a strong push at making sure I really attack content. That's honestly almost, you could say that's a bigger priority to me than competing. Um,
good
but
backup
yeah,
plan.
so I really am making a strong push towards content. But obviously, like I plan on competing at the very highest level, and I have the luxury of being able to do both with the people I surround myself with. I
Yeah,
mean, like I'll always have good people around me who, if I play with them and talk to them, it'll rub off. If that makes sense.
yeah, I got you. I mean, so I don't know, man. The bigger crew thing might be a good thing. You get to play a lot of different people. You're not going to be playing just strictly like Fancy, D Croft, those guys, J Wall. Like you're not going to be just playing those guys. So you think that helps you out getting to have a bigger crew and being able to play all those different guys more?
I think so. Because you have reps against all different types of stuff. Like one of the people who we became pretty close with was Dylan, right? And he just joined TNC. He's very unknown. Like no one really knows him. He made like the Final Four Chargers Club, I think, this year. But he's very good at running a bunch of different meta stuff. Like he's really good at it. So when I need those reps against meta, I can call K Dylan and say, "Hey man, let's get a game." Or there's other people like that. Whereas like before, when we were a little bit smaller, playing Decroft, it was good. Like Decroft's one of the best players in the world, but
Yeah,
he wasn't a good rep for what I was going to play because I'm never going to play what Decroft ran really.
yeah.
It's a little bit unique, so it's not a great rep in that regard. I like having a little bit bigger of a crew. I really do.
I think it's definitely a plus that it's so big. I really do. I mean, I think you guys will see a big benefit from that.
I
It's
think
not going
so.
to be just you guys banging against each other the whole time, and like you said, you get to see more. And I'd heard there's some young guys coming out of there that are pretty fire.
Yeah, no, Salty, K Dillon are both young, real good players. They really are, and they're both like they know all the meta stuff, which is awesome. They're nerds when it comes to the game. No, it's good. The only real issue that comes with having a bigger crew is inside of tournament play. Obviously, more
Face them.
people, you have a bigger chance of playing each other, which is frustrating. But overall, like for what it's worth, the pros way outweigh the cons, in my opinion.
Yeah. So now that you step into that box of playing against each other out of your crew, how do you prepare for when you have to face somebody out of your crew?
It's pretty frustrating. I can't lie. For example, like I played J Wall and LCQ. Me and J Wall both made like really good runs. I'd beaten VA Dimes, I beat K Mac, and I beat Blocky. Three really good players this year, and I won all three of those games pretty well. But then I played J Wall, who J Wall and I played. We've played over 100 times this year, and J Wall beat my head in. He just beat my. He knew exactly what I was gonna do. I couldn't stop him. Just
Like
beat my head in.
that's just got to be. I mean, now do you go in differently at sometimes with that? Like, do you go in at a different standpoint? Like when you know you're facing them, do you try to put something in your back pocket against that, or are you just strictly stay in what you guys know?
But so that's something what I wanted to do. Like I actually like there was a very big decision with me where I was like, okay, Joel knows exactly what I'm doing. And honestly, Joel's one of the best players in the world. He knows exactly what I'm doing. This might not go well for me. You know what I mean? And I told myself, well, I could try to be a weirdo and like try to get tricky on him last second. I decided not to because I felt like if I had lost trying to be weird and like trying to do something like different, I'd always be thinking back to what if I had just stuck to my guns. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm fine. I'll ride or die with what I do, and if I
Okay.
lose with what I do, I lose to J Wall. It's frustrating, but it's also one of my best friends. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm happy for him.
yeah. I mean, like I brought that up to Fancy last interview and Decroft both of them because I just like to get you guys' take on it because like to me, like I guess some crews would probably take it if you hide something in your back pocket that you're being like, well, why didn't you share that with me if you score off of
Right?
it? You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
like, then
There's
you got
little
to
things like, for example, like there was stuff I had shared with J Wall a lot, or like with just my crew in general, where
yeah,
I was using against other people. I was having a lot of success. Like, if you ever like been one of my streams, I know some of the people in the chat.
yeah, I've been there.
The deep half coach is something I do a ton right now. But during LCQ, no one had known about it besides my TNC like that crew. but then that was a big way I was able to score pretty easy touchdowns like that. But when I played J-Wall knew. J-Wall knew it, and he knew how to stop it. And so like immediately, that's something where I think back like, damn, I kind of wish I wouldn't have told
Yeah.
everybody. But at the same time, it's like how they get to use it for their own too. Like Decroft ended up using it. Frustrating, but it is what it is too.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be tough in that situation. You guys spend so much time together, and then you guys have a great friendship, and it's just that's just I guess with the field being as small as you can get, man. It's so easy for it to happen. What did you guys? How did you feel? A big question is like this is one I've been asking a lot. Is like, how did you feel down in the classic with some of these big names getting knocked out of the tournament, man? Like you had Skimbo and Drini.
Well, you probably don't know this. I beat Drini. I was the first person I put him into the losers bracket at the classic. And that was the first time my name had ever like really gotten brought up. Like I'd played competitive Madden last year, but with school and stuff, I kind of got away from it after clubs.
Yeah.
Boogs actually knocked me out of clubs last year, so I just kind of got away from it, focused on life. It was my freshman year of college, whatever. So I flew down to the classic, and I never played a lot of these bigger names. I always felt like I was good enough, and then I played Drini, and we had one of the best games of the year that was off stream, unfortunately. I ended up beating him. So for me, it was awesome. I like everybody there. Like it was immediately it put my name. Like it said like, oh, Civil's not a bad player. I remember Skimbo walking over and seeing I was winning the game, right? And Skimbo turns. I think he said something to J Tibbs and said, "Is Drini getting cheated?" And J Tibbs says, "No, like Civil's just playing great." And like it was a really cool feeling for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would imagine. Like I have a ball that's signed by like top guys from 18. Like there's True on it. There's Skimbo. There's Dubby. There's Problem. All those guys are on the ball. Trini, Kiv, all of them. Like, and I was like, people from Madden, like the bigger guys, have been trying to buy the ball from me. I've had offers for like $1,000 some dollars on it already. I'm like, dude, I'm not selling it. Like this is something I got that you don't got.
It's cool.
Well, I think the big thing to me is that True's on it. Like True has his autograph on it, and it's not sucks, but we're never gonna have that autograph again. So that's one of the things that keeps me from never letting it go. And
no, absolutely.
Like I've watched the MCS for a long time. Like I mean, back since I've been able to watch it, like been able to be seen, I've been watching it, and it. So I kind of built. I feel like I built that relationship inside the community with you guys because I watch it for so long, so I know who you guys are, and that's something I brought to my channel this year was the MCS. So there was some guys that I have, like I said, I'm in the Madden community and usually run pretty decent with viewers. And there's guys that never seen the MCS, never knew it, like knew what it was, knew who you guys were. So that's why I'm doing these now. And I played we watched every tournament this year. Every tournament, that's all we did. I didn't even play a game. I just put you guys up on the screen, just let the game play, and we just sit there and talk. So they got to know who you guys were, and then I was like, look, I'm gonna see if I can get these guys on here. Let's get these guys on here. Let's see you guys get to know who they are and get a little bit more insight about them. And like it went crazy. Like people were grabbing it. They're like, dude, no way, you got this person, you got this person. I'm like, look, dude, I didn't even know it was gonna go off. Like I was just jumping out there.
It's cool.
And
but it's astonishing.
Huh?
What I found, it's actually really astonishing. Like I said, like I branched into YouTube and like I've grown my audience through that and like streaming and whatnot.
Yeah.
So many people, like the Madden community is so big, especially like Mutt and I guess even Regs. Really, if you get into Regs,
yeah, I do it all.
So many people don't know. So many people don't know about it's competitive Madden like that, like the MCS, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, it really is crazy. A lot of people just like they've heard of it, but they've never like
they get locked. I think what happens is they get so locked in on the Mutt side of things. Like they're so like those guys that are watching. Most of the guys that are watching, they're looking. They want to know how to make the coin, what card to go buy and flip, and what chems and stuff. So they get so drawn into it that they don't. You guys don't get the love that you guys should. You know what I mean? And I'm like I yell about it all the time that you guys don't get paid enough. You win these things. You guys are for a multi-billion-dollar company. They could be paying you guys easily. It makes it so hard for you. You guys want to do this as a living. Like this is what you guys want to do for your career, and you can't because there's not enough money in it for you guys to live off of. Unless you win, you have to win to be able to live.
unless you're a top 10 player, and even then you have to do probably, even like the bottom 10, you have to do some things outside of strictly the tournament
Yeah.
play to really be able to make a living that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is a perfect job. Competitive Madden's a perfect job for somebody like in my situation where I'm young. I'm in college, whatever. It's a great side gig to make extra money, but doing it as a full-time job right now in terms of where the money is, strictly talking about competing, not ebook sales, not YouTube, not Twitch and anything, strictly competing, it doesn't make sense. It pays like a minimum wage job.
Yeah,
If you
it
really
really
break down
does. Oh, I get it because it all depends on where you're winning too. Like if you're winning out in California, the taxes are going to be ridiculous because they're taking California taxes, not where you live taxes.
Right,
Like,
yep.
so it's like I'm telling you, dude, I'm into this. I'm into MCS. I get it how it all works too. Like I don't play in it, but I get it. And that's the thing I get mad. It pisses me off because you guys spend so much time promoting the game for free. You put so many hours into this game. Like it's kind of insane how some of you guys are. Like Decroft, that guy puts stupid hours into the game, and it's like, why can't you be paid? You are a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, look at Fortnite. What was it? 2-3 years ago, I think a kid was 15 years old, goes and wins the first Fortnite tournament, takes like $3 million home at 15.
It's definitely frustrating. Like I said, I don't know all the finances behind on EA's side. Obviously,
There's money. There's money. Like, I mean, what they need to do is they need to get the NFL more involved. Like the NFL needs to get more involved, just like the NBA does with NBA 2K. What NBA 2K does in their esports stuff is phenomenal. Like it is phenomenal. Like they get their own drafts, they got their own teams running. Like that thing is ridiculously good, and those guys get paid. You know what I mean? They get money.
They get guaranteed money. That's the biggest thing. That they get guaranteed money. Where even if they suck, they make.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. But I think that's an actual good thing. Like you're getting guaranteed money. It allows you to be able to, hey, look, can I live off of this, or do I need to go get a part-time job too? You know what I mean? Like you guys, it's a guessing game. It's a guessing game. Like you have to play somewhere to get paid.
And like the biggest thing too, like on top of that is like you can be genuinely one of the best, right? But if you just get unlucky,
especially with the way the game was this year, the way the game was this year, like the game changed so much per patch. It was like, what am I playing?
One fumble you can one fumble can be thousands and thousands of dollars.
It was even I think with the run this year is that you could be 4th and 25 and guys were busting it off for an 80-yard run for a touchdown. Like
I dealt with that down in Texas. I dealt with Zeke down in Texas.
That was because they should have had that patch. Like they knew what it was in the beta. I get to play the beta just like you guys. I play it almost every year, and they should have known. Like that thing was so OP. The armbar was so OP in the beta. Like why wasn't it patched?
No, it's I don't know. So many people. The issue is too. So many people have different visions of what the game should be. You'll have competitive players who want it to be more realistic. Me personally, I would love to see it be as competitive as possible, which takes a lot of realism out of real football, and it is hard for the developers too. I understand that. Like for example, like fumbles, right? Take fumbles for example. Fumbles happen in real football, right? They happen, But to me, fumbles shouldn't be in competitive Madden, right? Because a large majority of the time, not always, but a large majority of the time, they're fairly random. I can hit stick your Zeke and you fumble, but you can hit stick mine and I might not fumble, which screws you over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it goes, though. That's like how it really happens, though. Like, I mean, you can
exactly. So that's some people's arguments. Some people's arguments is that's just how it is, and that's luck and getting lucky and not getting lucky. And that's just how people have different viewpoints. Like I would love it where fumbles were really, really toned down to a big point. And there's a bunch of other things to that too.
I mean, I would like to see the cards. Like, you know what I mean? I would like to see the cards ratings play a part. That would be me because they don't matter. They really don't. The ratings don't really matter too much. It's more this year. It was more what abilities could you put on your players, and can he put the right abilities on to counteract what I have going on? That was the game.
Oh yeah, no, salary cap, team building. A lot of people won and lost games before the game was actually played.
Yeah.
Very wrong. Like I realized that a little too late into salary cap actually, and to LCQ after I already got popped. But a lot of people won and lost games before the ball was actually snapped, because of just how their team was constructed, how their team was built, or people had huge advantages, I should say, just off of how their teams were built, and Which, I mean, you can argue
Sucks.
that's great, you can argue not.
To me, that
Still both ways
sucks.
with it.
That sucks that abilities can really dictate a game like that, and you guys have to deal with abilities. Like, I mean, because you guys get locked into a certain point. Once that lock-in comes, then you can't change nothing. So then you're sitting there and you're like, well, fuck, I fucked up. Like, how am I fixing this? And you have to sit there and hopefully your stick game is good enough to fix it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, but like literally just playing devil advocate, some people will argue that team building is a skill, and if you build your team well, you should reward. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an argument some people make, and that's how so many people see competitive man so differently. That's just an example of course.
Yeah.
Where people see it so differently. It's you never get it to where everybody's happy. Which
Oh,
is
never.
But
I mean, that's just the world because everybody looks at it differently. You know what I mean? But it's
looks at it so differently.
To me, it's just one of those things. Is like, I think for the abilities, I think they shouldn't even be in competitive football. The competitive side of it, I think you take the abilities out and you play football and do it like they used to, and let's see whose stick is better than whose stick. You know what I mean? That's my type of football. I love it. I love it when it's like that.
You can argue the hell out of that, but then some people could come back with arguments, just like I said, where team building should matter in certain moments.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, in salary cap, team building matters no matter what. Like, you have to build. It is a skill. Like, some people take hours, days to build their team. You know what I mean? Like, they're putting people in and out. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But that's the part of it. You get the abilities out of it, and then let the people's teams do what they do. You know what I mean? Like, that's a different ball game. You know what I mean? If take your abilities away, put your guys in how you see fit. This is all on you now because this is how you built your team. But at the same time, you still have to play football. So if your team just doesn't perform and you didn't make the right calls on the players, that's different than, oh, I'm gonna pick these 3 abilities, put these 3 abilities on, and then if I face this guy, his abilities aren't gonna match mine. You know what I mean? Like, so
and I mean,
it's
frustrating. It's frustrating being on the wrong end of that.
I'd rather see you guys build your teams and just bang out and whoever wins. Like, that was the funnest shit ever. Like, that's fun to watch. That way you can't sit here and play, oh, I'm just like the meta this year. I mean, you got guys out here running with no quarterbacks and punters and everything. Like, that's wild to me that you can win a game like that. Like, it's wild. Like, blows my mind.
Right. And no, trust me. If you told me at the beginning of the year, I told you you're an idiot. That would never happen. But hey, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
Some people would argue that someone.
I mean, you're gonna do whatever you have to do to win. You know what I mean? Like, that's the game, and that's how it goes. I mean, you're gonna do what if the meta is run the ball and you win the game and you win $100,000. You're gonna run the ball, like
some people would say like how Volt constructed his team. He was a genius. Some people are gonna argue that the way he played it was disgusting. He ran the ball every single play and juiced out his defense. But you can make the argument that that guy's a genius how he played the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, now when it comes to the MCS standpoint of that, do you really think these guys, like when it's just running, do you think it takes away from the MCS at that? Like, because it's boring to fucking watch. Yeah, like I mean, you think it might pull away from sponsors wanting to jump onto it because all you're doing is seeing the same thing?
I mean, you want entertainment, you want exciting gameplay. And I do think running the ball repeatedly, unless like I think the most unless like you're talking to, because for example, like when I was watching Volt play, right? I was obviously at club, I was in the players lounge, I was talking to some of the other guys, I was talking to some of his crewmates, and they were calling out what Volt was seeing, and they were calling his run plays out before he would call them, that was incredible to watch. But the average person can't, they're not seeing, they're just seeing a guy hand it off every single play.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating. That's hard to watch. That's bad to watch. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. For me personally, I'm with you where I'm not nerdy. I can't spend hours constructing a team. I don't have the time to spend hours constructing a team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got it.
That's why I like Regs. That's why Regs is my favorite game mode. Salary cap might be more. It might be a better game mode, which it is. But Regs is more of my style of game mode because you're just picking your team. Like you got your team. Let's go ball. You know what I mean? I know who you're using. I know who you have. You know who I have. Let's just go ball. That's why I always like Regs more. I'm just not a nerdy guy like that. I don't get nerdy in it.
Yeah.
you look at like my salary cap teams, for example, like of what I use in clubs, like the worst teams there, literally the worst, the most poorly the players I found out afterwards just made no sense according to like certain like thresholds or like ratings and shit. I mean, I just wanted the ball. I just wanted to play.
Yeah,
I didn't really.
that's how I am. Like, so I'd probably be more of a regs guy myself. Like, if it came
No,
down to it, because there's no guessing. So there's no guessing. Like, hey, he's coming out with this is guys he has. These are the X factors they have. You know what they have, so you just gotta play.
And that's just totally like because I don't want to get nerdy into it. Just like you're saying, like I just want to play. But overall, salary cap is a better competitive game mode in terms of like you get to construct your team and like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But I just want to go play some ball. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that's
I think it's what comes down to it. I think it's what makes it tough for me sometimes is that like I've played football since the age of 6 to 33 years old. I've played college. I've played minor league. I played semi-pro. I played different speeds, different calibers of competitiveness, and just guys that were just like I've played guys that were in the NFL. I played against guys that may have just been on that timeout, like they weren't being picked up by anybody or free agents. I played against those guys, and they do it just to have tape, whatnot. But like I think that's what it comes down to is I want to see like realistic football. Like I just want to be like I want to see like so that's why I was really stuck on Decroft, man. When I seen him passing and running, I was like, dude, nobody else is doing this in the tournament. He's gonna win. And then I was like, okay, so Joke shuts him down on defense. I mean, but it was one of those things is that like people didn't know how to handle it because they weren't ready for it. Like guy's coming out passing, he's throwing, he's running. You had to defend both sides of it, and that's the type of football I like. Like I loved when he was on because you get to see more of what was going to happen. Like if these guys could they adjust to the pass to stop it? Could they figure out when he was going to run the ball? You know what I mean? Like because he was, I feel as when he played, he wasn't really that easy to read. Like he was mixing up when he was running, he was mixing up when he was passing. So it wasn't
like, the way Decroft plays such a pure version of Madden. I guess I don't know if that's the right word for it. But,
that's probably about right.
There's a reason, like for example, like Dubby had like the top 5 games of the year, whatever. Decroft was in 3 of them. There's a reason, you know. It's like the way he played the game was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was awesome to watch. He played it in such a unique way, such a you know what I'm saying. Like it was a lot of fun to watch someone play like that. And like that's what more of the MCS needs. And on top of that, Decroft was also he has personality. You know, you could watch his face cam and you could see him get excited. You could see him like, and that's freaking awesome.
And I think that's what they really need. I think that's what they really need. And I would love to see the game be pushed to where you have to pass and run, not just run the ball all day long. If you could pass and run, like if you have more of that, I think the MCS they for one get more sponsorships, which brings in more money, and then they get more people watching, not just for the drops that they put in their viewerships, because we all know how it goes. The drops are why people are there a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Instead of for you guys, you know what I mean? That sucks.
Right. And you're right, and it is frustrating. One thing I'll say though, like the viewership has went up.
Oh, it's definitely have went up, but I mean,
the production quality, especially of like how they ran Madden Bulk, especially considering everything.
Yeah.
When we were out there, it was phenomenal. I loved it. The people that have commentating right now are freaking they're beasts. They're awesome. They have Rain Day out there. They have one great user coming in now.
One great user. He's got to be my favorite guy, man. He's my favorite guy.
Right now, it's great, and I think so. It's growing, and it's damn near there. And I'm hoping that it pushes through and it breaks through, and eventually.
See, I mean, I think
it's be a full-time thing for people more consistent.
I really wish they would listen to you guys more. I mean, they listen, but are they really listening? You know what I mean? Like when it comes to these MCS things, and listen to the people watching it and stuff like that. Like because of the way they changed the game so much. Like guys, one tournament you'll be preparing for something. The next tournament they'll be preparing to run the game. The game will be completely different. You're doing something completely different for the first tournament. Or if they give you the bombshell, well, here's a couple days before the tournament, new patch, figure it out. Like
Trust that with you. No, it's so hard because like we talked about before, like it's such a fine balance between like competitive players and casual players. You have to find like the right balance. Like this was the year of the casual. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah,
really
definitely
nice
the
for
casual.
more casual
It
players.
definitely
I mean,
pertained to them, and I think
and that's not disrespecting casuals. It's just like how it was. It was more of a cat like it pushed towards casuals.
well, that's who was paying money. I mean,
Exactly. And that's yeah.
and like that's what I like, and I don't know if you get into franchise at all, but to see them come back out and not have anything set for that really bugged me. I mean, is that like you're saying, hey, we're getting ready to move from this, and we're not going to have it in the game no more, or
No, hashtag fix franchise mode. No, that's actually really like I don't really play franchise like that, but I remember reading I read the patch notes. That's what they were.
yeah,
And it actually disgusted me like seeing that. But it all comes down, and this is wrong. But I'm like when it all comes down to, and you obviously you get it. It comes down to money. There's
yeah,
no money being made playing franchise mode.
absolutely. But I mean, you got leagues out here. Like, there's some leagues out here
No,
that
I
are fantastic. Like, and and I don't know if I don't think Madden really understands how much some of these leagues generate money for them. You know what I mean? Like, look at what is the MBL network? That league is a 4-time Daddy League champion, like best league out there, and it's constructed so well, and they have so much coming out of that league. Like, if you, like, I'm telling you, you take franchise, or you don't do something with it, you're gonna lose a lot of money. Like, you'd be surprised at how many people are actually playing franchise. Like, I was actually surprised because I got into it this year. Like, I was a big franchise person, but they weren't making any moves, so I kind of got bored with it. But then I got into it this year, like in competitively wise at a friend like CFM, and I was blown away about how many people were in these leagues, how many leagues are out there. Like, I was shocked. Like, I was like, holy fuck, there's
no, I
really
agree.
this
But
going on.
I agree. But what it comes down to is one, there's no microtransactions inside a franchise. So once you buy the game and you're a franchise player, you're really not giving EA directly a whole lot more money if you're playing it for a
100%,
franchise.
100%.
So which is the thing where EA is just literally saying, once again, I don't think this is right, but I'm just telling you, like from what it seems like EA's standpoint is, and my view of it, is that EA is saying that you're gonna play franchise next year anyway, so who cares? And I think that's so wrong.
Yeah.
But it's terrible.
Yeah,
But
I mean, because there's been people that have put out these videos. I don't know if you caught it. It was earlier in the year, but a guy put out this video, and it had to have been the best video I've ever seen. Like, this guy revamped franchise mode. He revamped the whole thing for him.
bro,
Like, and he's like, just DM me. We can talk about how we can put everything in the game. And I mean, it wasn't just some bullshit video. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
this dude took his time, and you could tell the video took time because he redid the whole interface of it. He redid the training. He redid all the stuff of how the guys developed, what you could do inside of franchise, how people were getting drafted, and how you figured out certain things. Like, it was depth. I was like, dude, if they put this in the game, that mode would be so phenomenal. Like, you might bring people back to the game that left the game because of franchise mode. You know what I mean? That don't play it because franchise mode is bad. So you may get, like you said, you're not getting microtransactions and stuff, but you still can bring those guys back that aren't playing the game anymore and make your money. Like, there's different avenues you got to look at, and I don't know. I know there's developers that really want to do it, but then you have the guys above them that are like, no, we got to gear it. We're pushing MUT. Like, this is what we're doing.
And it is all my understanding is too, it is all controlled by the suits, by the very
Oh, of
top of the
course it
line
is.
people,
Of course it is a company.
and which is always frustrating.
It is definitely.
The people we give feedback to aren't even like for the most part aren't the people who are directly, they're not making decisions.
Yeah,
They're middlemen. They're
yeah.
middlemaning it,
I mean,
which is frustrating.
and
I would love to see it get better. I would love to see it get better.
I would love to see, like, this game get better in a whole. Like, I was saying this. I don't know your take on this, but I was talking to. I thought it was a Decroft I was talking to about this. It might have been somebody else I was talking to about this. But with them not having another game behind them to push and say they own the rights to all the NFL players and all that, with them not having anybody behind them to push them, do you think that makes the game a little bit lax? Like, they don't really have to make it fantastic. They don't have to make it great.
Right. I mean, I think that's just the thing of life where like if you don't have nobody competing with you, really care as much. not that you don't care, but you're not pushed as hard. It's like you play football. You're competing for a starting quarterback job. You're busting your ass every day. Whereas you're the presumed starter, and you know your job's not in risk. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, have more competition, of course. Like yeah, that would definitely push it. That would
That-
definitely push it.
That's
Become
what I
more.
was. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping with 2K. I was hoping there was going to be something. Like I feel like 2K just backed off and it just was like,
Mhm.
yeah, you guys got it. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to
Yeah,
go try to pay for this and outbid you guys on this. Like I wish they would have though, because I mean I would have
yeah,
loved to seen what happened because I remember playing back when they had 2K football, and then the same thing with NBA Live. Like they had that going on, and 2K had that behind them. They just seemed like they were always battling back and forth, and it was a battle of whose game was going to be better. And I loved it back
oh
then.
yeah,
I loved it back then because sometimes you get swayed and you're like, okay, well, this game is better right now. You know what I mean? Like this game is the one I'm going to go buy, and then this game was the one I was going to go buy. Like I've bought 2K before, but like Madden's still always been my thing.
but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, of course, it would definitely drive them to at least attempt to put out a better product. Just naturally, like that's just natural competition. Unfortunately, we don't have that. I would have loved to see what 2K could have done. I don't really think it would have been a great football game, but I think it would have at least put pressure on EA to make a better Madden. And I mean, which would have been awesome. It would have been awesome to at least see it,
Yeah.
But
That's the same thing. Like,
unfortunately,
that's how I feel with like live too. Is like I used to be a big live person, and
yeah,
2K's kind of basically like taken over that whole scene.
oh yeah,
And like I don't know like if it's just like, well, we're not gonna do this because we can't compete with them, or if hey, can we? Are they gonna take away from like our MCS guys? Like if they come out and they have a good game, can they? Are they gonna try to push their own thing. You know what I mean? And I think that's what comes into it, and that's a business thing. Is that they're like, oh, we're just gonna buy this and shut them up so they can't do anything. Keep all of our money where it is. You know what I mean?
no, I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see, but
Do
unfortunately,
you
just
think
don't.
we
We don't have
ever?
at least.
Do you think we ever see it again?
I don't think we'll ever see a game actually legitimately compete with because like for example, like you mentioned live in 2K,
Hmm.
with like the most recent years, when live came out with the game compared to 2K's, live was just terrible.
Trash. Yeah,
It,
it's
it was it
absolutely.
was bad. Like it was a joke. Like I'm sure 2K game developers looked at it and just laughed to themselves.
Oh, I
That was
imagine. I would imagine because I
and
mean, the
I don't think
guys didn't even have armpit hair. I think.
it was bad. So I can't imagine a game coming out, at least not in the next 5 years at least,
Yeah.
really really pushing EA and be like, "Yo, this is actually a good game." Like having like the MUT stuff, having or like their own version of it. I can imagine that. You always have like the little like I don't know, they're not indie games, but like more like smaller games like Doug Flutie Football. I think
Oh
was one
my
of them.
god.
Those are
Football.
cool. But like that's not like EA looks at that, they laugh and say, "Nice game, buddy."
Yeah,
And be like, "Yo,
I mean, it's definitely going to be hard to produce and product against EA. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar
oh, no,
company with
exactly." That's the thing.
unlimited
EA is so big.
resources.
Exactly. It's like not like disrespecting what they have, but like
Yeah,
just speaking like just I mean just like looking at it and having an obvious take on it. Like they don't really care that much. So it'll be hard. And the only people who could really do it would be someone like 2K if they really try to compete with it. And it'd take a couple of years probably of them making the game, and that could really push EA or at least put pressure on EA.
yeah,
And like we said, like I think 2K would be the only realistic option. Like I said, like there'll always be like the indie, not indie games. I don't mean to call that, but you know what I'm saying, like the
yeah. I
smaller
got you.
developed games.
Now,
Um,
just get into the last question before we let you get out of here because almost two. Um, what was your feel in the beta, the 21 Madden 21 beta?
but I was so upset when it came out because I was actually leaving that weekend. So I stayed up like 20. I stayed up all night playing it literally because I had to leave the next morning. I wasn't. They didn't tell us when it was coming out, so I couldn't plan anything. So I only got to play about 10 hours of it. Uh, I liked a lot of things. There's some very so one thing I don't think you can get upset about the very obvious bugs. Like for example, like the zone drop thing, like it
Oh
reset
my
to zero randomly.
god.
It's right. That's frustrating. Trust me, that would piss me off. But it's also beta. It's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
beta, so in that aspect, like, I wasn't too upset about that. It's an obvious bug. It's not like they're just saying like, yeah, that's how it should be. Like they know it's a bug. It should be fixed by day
yeah.
one. That's an obvious glitch. I liked it for the most part. I really did. Defense. defense was bad, right? Um, but you could see little glimmers of defense, especially with the fact that it was our first couple days, and we're going from right now where you can have a deep third play a flat like
Yeah.
that. Which it's obviously been toned back because like right here, like if the perfect zone threshold's like right here, right, we're up here like zones are just playing out of their minds, and then the beta, went way below it.
Yeah.
So
Way
it's just a
below.
huge difference we have right now, which is the
It was
beta's
definitely
like shock.
it was definitely weird to me. It was definitely weird to me on that because
Oh,
like
it was super weird.
it
It was
felt to
super
me
weird.
like when you user you could only stick with one route. You couldn't like fade and bait and then take off
Right.
and go get the bait. It was more as like you had to run with that route or nobody's
Yeah,
covering
but
them.
my opinions on defense, I would like to see. Honestly, I don't even care that much about zones getting buffed so much, because I did see a good amount where if I had my zone drop at 25 yards, my cloud would play the crosser. He would, and people are playing what they should to an okay extent. What I would like to see is click-ons when the ball's in the air. If I click on, I'd like to have more control, be able to make that play. Their
Yeah,
skill got
instead of just like slowing down.
right, and I'd also like to see user speeds get buffed just a little bit. I like what they did in terms of those 7-man blitzes. They're not really a thing right now. Whether or not they'll become a thing, I don't think
I
they
know
will.
it was a beautiful thing. Felt good not
So
to
I
get
like that a
sacked
lot.
every set, every play.
Exactly. I like that a lot. QB releases are better. I'm very, very excited about that. One thing that was frustrating to me was the throw out a sack. I know I had some unfortunate things happen with throw out a sack, and that's kind of like some people like it, some people don't.
Now the hit on that release part. How did like to you? Did it feel like most of them were throwing the ball at the same speed?
Well, like I said, I only got to play about 10 hours. I spent every single game with Tom Brady and the
Okay.
Buccaneers. So
Cause he
I
well, he
was
was one of the guys. He was one of the guys that I felt like released the ball like super fast. Like,
yeah,
it was
no. So
weird.
I was no like, and like I said, I only played one quarterback, so I didn't get the feel for the other guys. I felt like he was zooming the ball. I felt like
Yeah.
that ball was in the air. And maybe the other guys felt like that, maybe they didn't.
I felt like
I
it
didn't
was the
play.
same release for every quarterback. There wasn't a different like I played with all of them. I played with Matt. I even went and played with Matt Ryan to see if it was the same. Because that was the first thing I seen is when I played with the Bucks. I was like, well, I got Tom Brady. I want to see what I could do. And so it was like he was dropping back. He usually has a decent. It's not like super fast. It's not super slow, but it wasn't what the game was portraying to me. Like the game was like he was just cocking back and letting it go, like he was throwing like a Lamar Jackson short arm. And
You know,
I was kind of confused because I went, like I said, I went through each quarterback and they all seemed the same.
okay. I didn't get a chance to use the other quarterbacks. I was happy overall with how I felt like Tom Brady was able to get the ball out. There wasn't many times like I remember the beta last year, seeing the difference between how slow the ball came out when like going from that Madden 19 to Madden 20.
Oh
That
yeah,
was frustrating. I was pretty happy about it. About this time around. Now, obviously, it was a beta, so as I get more time on it, my opinion might change. But I honestly, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I did enjoy the beta. I think people, fix the obvious bugs. Ag catches right now are kind of crazy with Mike Evans. I don't think
definitely,
competitive like
definitely.
I would like to
But
see
I
that get
mean, there
toned
was
down
one
a little bit.
there was one thing I did like about that though is that those players like Calvin Johnson this year, Mike Evans, those guys that are made to jump for the ball weren't really getting that animation
Right,
this
yeah,
year. And with the
right,
beta, they were able to jump and go after the ball, no matter if it was sim mode or competitive mode. You were able to contest the ball, and that's all I ask. Like that's all I want from the game is like those guys that are made to do that. Let them at least go up. They don't have to catch the ball every time. Let them at least test the ball. Like that's what they do. They're not going to do what they do in Madden 20 right now, is they run up and they put their hands out when you push triangle to jump for the ball, and the cornerback comes over the top and intercepts it. Like, no, they're going to go up and they're going to try to catch it.
I do agree with you. I agree
Uh,
with you. They definitely are, which is a cool thing. Definitely are trying to make plays on it. Overall though, like I enjoyed the beta. I really did. It's promising. Don't know what's gonna happen. Obviously,
There was one like,
we don't know. There's a lot of
did you get that same feel? Is that like it felt like it was kind of balanced, like you could pass and you could throw the ball in that beta?
I felt like this offense was just easy. Literally, just about
It
every
was super
offense I felt
easy.
like you could run out a lot of offenses. I mean, and once again, defense hasn't came out yet. What as soon as the game drops within a few weeks, there'll be some meta defense probably,
Mhm.
and we'll see how the game adjusts to that. But right now, you could run any terrible formation you want. Just you know what heart desires, and you'll probably do pretty good
Yeah, I mean
because
that's
people don't know how to play
what
defense
well,
yet.
that's how I felt like it was. It was like the defense was so easy to throw across the middle. Like it was so easy because If you were lurking,
No,
it was lurking. You had to take that. You had to take a route. You couldn't just like hover and come up and break on it like you could in 20.
But what I will say about that, and what's really, really good, is that people get stops. It feels like right now, right? To get stops,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to know what you're doing on defense. You won't be able to just sit and
yeah.
stop cover three.
Gives you that nice little skill gap.
Right, which should be a skill gap thing. Obviously, everything I say, I don't know because the game hasn't came out yet for sure. But it seems like like for example, I mean, I could play dudes who I'd have a running back wheel route or running back table route, and I'd throw it, and their deep third would come down, tackle me for 2 yards. That's frustrating. That's frustrating for me,
Yeah,
who I try to spread the field as horizontally as I can. I can't because I get 2 yards against. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
So
got you.
that's interesting. It seems like better defensive players, like take Drini for example, take Spoto for example, some other guys obviously. They should it should be more noticeable, I think. As in, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some changes. Ginger guy in chat, he's noticed that the beta has been updated twice. People noticing changes through it, and still because he hasn't played it much really. So I mean, that's what we're talking now. There's been some serious changes along the line and stuff like that, especially with the line. Like they recognize like if they're from the same plays and makes it harder for you to get. What do you think it happens with if it tends to play this way going into the game? What do you think? Do you think anybody moves down to that that lineman and uses that lineman with the way it's set up right now?
The way I see it, I'm guessing there might be like one or two. I don't mean this in a bad way, but like weirdos, like who like have some weird defense out of it, and like it might be halfway decent. I see people being, even if it is the better thing to do, I see a lot of people being too, I don't know,
paranoid,
stubborn.
paranoid to go
Stubborn,
leave that middle
like,
open.
right, like yeah, just like too paranoid, like to be on the D line, too stubborn to get off of what they're used to.
Hmm.
Even if it might be better, I know that's like a lot of people are just too stubborn to get away from what's normal, what they feel like they should be doing. So I wouldn't expect to see that. No, I wouldn't expect to see that as a mass change competitively. I would not expect that.
I just wondered what they would do with that because I mean, it is going to be a thing in the game, and you think anybody implements it into their game plan every now and then, like they'll bounce down and then just like do it every now and
Maybe
then?
it really depends how good, it depends how good it really is.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten this chance to really see it competitively yet. I know I've heard a couple people say like they had some real like nerdy stuff doing it. How like competitive or practical it is. It could be something that someone does every once in a while if they know they can get like an insta shed, I guess. But I'd have to see it more.
I
To really
felt like
see
the
it.
instant shed got
Really,
kind of like the instant shed. Well, I mean, like it's like you said, it's a beta still, but it felt like the instant shed really wasn't there anymore. Even like I went down on the D lineman a couple times just to see, and because like I'm a safety user, I use the free safety. I love the safety. For some reason, I played linebacker all my life, college and all that, in minor leagues, and I'm more of a guy that likes to be on the safety for what reason? I don't know. I find it harder back there, but I mean, it's just where I'm comfortable. But like, I came down to the D line and I tried. I mean, I tried like all the movements and all that stuff, and I hated it. Like, I couldn't get the instant shed because now your movement, all your movement, instead of being on square and X or whatever it is on the Xbox, I can't remember A and whatever it is. It's not there no more. It's all stick use. So
but it's different. Like I said, I don't know if it'll actually be good. Obviously, they're pushing it casually at least.
what about? I
Um,
mean, you run the ball. You know, I haven't really got to watch a ton of your play, but I've watched you. Now, running the ball, for the last one here, we can get you out of here. This last one here, um, the truck stick moving to the what is it on Xbox? It's Y, and on triangle on PS4. What do you feel about it, man? I fucking hate it. That's my
well, I
opinion.
mean, the thing is like it's pretty like I don't understand why they did it for sure. It's frustrating at first. Every year they do like little slight changes like that. I guess to make it's one of the things they do to make it feel like a new game. I don't think like it feels kind of stupid to me, but at the same time, I think in a month, 2 months into the game, you really will kind of forget it. Because like I'm guessing you might not remember that they changed from Madden 19 to 20. They changed a bunch of the defensive adjustments.
Yeah,
What months to hit.
but that, I mean, that wasn't. I felt that easier to adjust to. Like we've been running with
Oh yeah, I mean,
the
trust me,
truck
like
stick
you're
for.
gonna fumble. You're gonna fumble sometimes,
Oh,
accidentally
definitely jumping.
doing some stuff.
And that was my
But
biggest thing is I'm running the ball. I'm running the ball, and then I'm like, I'm ready to just bust somebody's ass with the fucking truck stick, and I'm like, boom! You just see me jump in the air and getting spun. I'm like, fuck, man.
I'm not totally sure. They had some they had some reasoning in like their thing for it. I don't think I remember thinking it wasn't like totally necessary,
God, I hope they
and
put
I
it
really
back.
don't.
I hope they put it back.
And that's something they actually talked about that they're taking feedback on, which I don't know if they're gonna change it back. I guess I would technically like if I had to think about it, I would like to see it be how it is right now. But for me personally, it's not the end of the world. Like my muscle memory, I'll spend 100+ hours on it the first month of the game, and
Yeah.
I'll get back to it. I'll remember. I'll get it down. But it definitely is frustrating. It definitely is something that doesn't feel like it needs touch.
Well, I think I'd have a lot to go. You know what I mean? I have a lot. I have a lot of muscle memory on that stick from because I like to run. I'm a runner, but I run and pass. But I'm a run guy. I like to run. I like to bang the ball. But it's like I don't know. It was just weird because, like I said, that's been like that. I don't even know how far back it goes in Madden, but it goes way back. Like that stick to be there, and you just hit somebody.
No,
So
I agree with you. It's just a thing that I felt like would make the game feel a little bit more new. I guess different.
I mean, if you have the right running back, it's gold.
Like
Like because if he can jump, like if you get a Saquon, you got
oh, yeah,
Saquon back there.
the
It's
hurdling.
golden. Golden. It's a golden move because it's
Yeah, no,
easier to hit.
hurdling's good then.
But
It's not that bad, but I don't know.
definitely,
I really
I'm
don't.
gonna wrap this up so you can get out of here because you got to go. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate the conversation. Really good one. Guys, make sure you guys check out the YouTube video. I will get it up. It may come out later today, depending on how long it takes to render. If not, it'll be out tomorrow morning. So keep a lock on that. YouTube is Smee45. So if you're not sub to it. We do this show twice a week. It's usually on Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. To make sure we had to switch it to Saturday to get Civil on because he has a funky ass work schedule. But we got him. We finally got him on. So it's every Mondays and Thursdays. Sometimes we have Madden guys on here. Sometimes we have a bunch of different content creators. I mean, we've had ScoMo. We will have Raw Dog next week. We've had a ton of his crew on here already. So we're just adding more to it. Keep a lookout. But if you got anybody you want to shout out, have at it.
No, I appreciate it. I see a bunch of people from my community in here. That's awesome. Love you guys. I appreciate having me on the show, man. I really do.
Like I said, guys, make sure you guys check if you are from my channel, guys, and you guys have never been in his channel. Make sure you guys check it out, and you guys can get his links and all that stuff. We will get, like I said, that'll all be in there. We'll have his social medias in there, so that'll all be there. Video will go up, and you guys will be able to rewatch this and look forward to seeing what you do this year, man. Hopefully, it's better than last year.
That'd be awesome, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you guys for all you guys from Civil's community coming over to me. I really, 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 really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. This show is a big thing to me right now. We will be adding something on Wednesdays, and that'll be starting at 7. It's going to be a roundtable. We will discuss multiple topics with Madden, sports once we have it back. Because I know we're all dying for some of that. So once we have all that back, we will be talking that stuff. We will be talking all different things. So make sure you guys look out for it. We will be announcing that on my Twitter once the roundtable is live and we have the crew for it. So pay attention to that. But again, thank you, Civil, and everybody else that showed up today. Peace.